Williams with a big hole. Kyren Williams still going. Across midfield and out of bounds.
Welcome back to your Valley Sports Plug Arizona Cardinals recap for Week 12 of the 2023 NFL season. I'm Chris Patrick, and joining me are Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman here to break it all down for you. The Arizona Cardinals back at home Sunday to host the Los Angeles Rams at State Farm Stadium. The third game back for Kyler Murray, looking to shake off the rust and show the world what he can do. But at the same time, the Rams are also getting healthy as Kyren Williams makes his return and makes a statement in this one. But let's take a look at how it all went down. The Rams got on the board first on a 7-yard touchdown pass from Matthew Stafford to Tyler Higbee. The score 7-0 early in the first. With about 5 minutes left in the first quarter, Kyler Murray found his way into the end zone for 6. The Cardinals sent in backup quarterback Clayton Tune for the 2-point conversion, and with a brotherly shove, got the 2 points, and Arizona had the lead 8-7. But in the second quarter, Matthew Stafford added 2 more passing touchdowns, one to Tyler Higbee and one to Kyren Williams, and at halftime, the score was 21-8 Rams. In the third quarter, the Rams added on 3 more from a 24-yard Lucas Havrasik field goal, pushing the lead to 24-8 Los Angeles. Lucas, I'm sorry if I mispronounced your name. Into the fourth quarter, the beatings continued. Kyren Williams found the end zone again on a 3-yard pass from Matthew Stafford, and Royce Freeman broke loose a 23-yard run for a touchdown. The score 37-8 with 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter. The Cardinals were able to score one more time on a 6-yard touchdown pass from Kyler Murray to Greg Dortch. Unfortunately, too little too late to spur a comeback, and the final score was 37-14 Rams, and the Arizona Cardinals fall to a record of 2-10 on the season. But I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to Michael Benjamin for his thoughts on Week 12 for the Arizona Cardinals.
Guys, I don't even know where to begin with this dreadful game. I mean, I guess I can say shout out to Raymond. He was nice enough to me while I was watching the game with him. He's a big Rams fan, and he wasn't chirping at me because he probably felt bad for me, unfortunately. For this one, it started off horrible. I mean, 287 yards to 102 in the first half. Kyren Williams, his first game back off of IR, just absolutely torched us, had 120 in the first half alone. But we continue to find ways to be inept, right? Jalen Thompson has an incredible pick, but falls down by himself. Definitely would have been a pick 6. You can't tell me otherwise. And then Matt Prater nails a 57-yarder to end the half, pushing it to a 10-point game. But no, hold on. Swaim gets a holding call on the outside rusher, which forces a clock runoff, and the points are taken off. It's just unreal at this point, fellas. And this set of plays, basically to start the second half, summed up this entire game. We go 3 and out to start because Kyler throws into triple coverage and Hollywood has to play defense. But psych, they do a fake punt and convert. Awesome, cool, pull the tricks out of the bag. But then it's a hold on the first play by O'Donnell, a chop block on Paris and Will Hernandez on the second play to make it 1st and 34, then a false start on 3rd down to make it 3rd and 37. I mean, Matt Stafford has not been great this season. He's been injured himself, but it was his first time throwing 4 touchdown passes since October of 2021. And Chris, I know that you were joking about earlier, is this one of the rivals for the Arizona Cardinals? The damn truth is it's not. It was the 9th straight victory for the Rams at State Farm Stadium. Disgusting, people. The last win at home was November 9th of 2014. It's been almost a decade since we've been able to beat this fucking team at home. This is what we knew about this team, but it's getting disturbing to see what's been happening. It's full tank mode. And unfortunately, now within 3 games, we're already worrying about Kyler Murray and wondering if he's the guy going forward. But that's all I have to say. We're going to have plenty of conversations moving forward about that. But Tallman, how are you feeling after this one, man?
Yeah, fellas, what a ugly game. We were kind of hoping those ugly losses were going to be a thing in the past with Kyler Murray being back. But what did we get today? An ugly, ugly loss. But it was a snooze fest from offensive standpoint for the Cardinals. It was a literal snooze fest in my living room because the action was so riveting. I found my eyes just closing ever so slightly in the fourth quarter. And what do you know? I watched the last 8 minutes of the game through my eyelids. But I didn't miss much. You can't count those garbage points at the end of the game. That was true garbage points in garbage time. They were going up against second and third stringers. I mean, come on. Couldn't stop the run. Painfully bad run defense. Kyron Williams had a career day against us. Seems like everyone likes to have a career day against the Cardinals, but missing Kaiser White for sure. I don't know, guys. I don't know what's going on with that, with the first drive versus what we saw the rest of the game. The first drive, we got Kyler Murray under center. We had a well-balanced offense going. We were running the ball, James Conner, but then Conner was not involved. We were just playing catch up, throwing the ball like crazy, and it was just not getting the job done. The last 2 minutes of the second quarter had me pulling my hair out. Another fourth down attempt, which was awful in my opinion, where I don't know why Kyler's not scrambling or doing a design QB run for that, or you're not trying to punch that, gain those 2 yards with James Conner, and you try to throw it to Trey McBride, 6-7 yards down the field. But they threw up a stat. It was the Cardinals have struggled the most in the NFL this season on fourth down attempts. I want to say we've done 22 attempts. We've only converted 27% of the time. Again, Mike, you mentioned the Jalen Thompson interception. I mean, that pretty much saved at least 3 points, if not 7 points. I felt like they were going to score another touchdown there. And then you cap it off with that holding penalty to nullify that last second field goal. It was just some awful football where it could have been a way closer game coming in the second half, but it was just terrible. But I'm with you guys, though. It's concerning with the Kyler Murray conversation because he comes back against Atlanta. He looks great, very promising, but there's been a steady decline where now we had this ugly game today, and it leaves you questioning what's going to happen. It's going to be a very challenging last 5 games of the season for this team and this coaching staff. And then, boy, I'm so glad I'm not going to be involved in those offseason talks on what are you going to do going forward with this team and this personnel and your franchise quarterback, because it's going to be a very difficult offseason for this team if it finishes the way I think we all feel like it's going to finish, which is going to be not good. So tough one out there.
Yeah, and this is one of those games where I think there's just not much to say, and you guys have kind of said it all. So I'll keep it brief here. But Tallman, you called an ugly loss. Shit, we got our ass kicked out there. Cardinals just had no fight in them today, it didn't seem like. And talking about the first drive looking okay and then nothing from there on out, it's almost like the play calling got a little bit predictable. Like the Rams almost were able to read what we were doing a little bit. And I know that the Rams are getting hot, but that's no excuse. Just want to highlight, you mentioned there his regression almost from the Atlanta comeback to last week against Houston and now this week against the Rams. His quarterback rating in this one was 83.2. Last week it was 84.6, and against Atlanta only 71. So he's really not getting any better week to week. If you think about last week, if CJ Stroud hadn't thrown those 3 interceptions, could have looked a lot like this game as far as the final score goes. But ultimately, I think they just need to play better on all sides of the ball. We know this is kind of a throwaway season. We all joke about the tank season, but there's really no excuse. These are professional football players, and with getting Kyler Murray back, I think we all just expected a little bit more. But we'll just have to see what they can do going forward. Next week, they will be at Pittsburgh taking on the Steelers. Kickoff at 11 a.m. Arizona time. And anyone who follows Valley Sports Plug knows there's a little bit of added intrigue around these parts. We're going to keep bringing you a recap of every single Cardinals game this season, so make sure you subscribe right here on YouTube and get those notifications so you can stay up to date with all the Valley Sports and Arizona Cardinals action. For Michael Benjamin and VSP Tallman, I'm Chris Patrick, and we'll see you next time. Peace.